Give you the opportunity to focus. My puff is cut off. You don't see enough of my shirt. We are dealing with what we got. There's something cute about a bun or like a puff, like something where your hair is completely up and kind of snatched, and then like a nice lip. It's like a mixture of I'm a ballerina or honestly, that cricket came right on time. I didn't know where I was going with that. What's up guys, it's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, hello, I'm Ashley and welcome to my channel. I truly appreciate you clicking on this video because you didn't have to, but you chose to, so thank you. I randomly wanted to make this video because today while I was watching the sermon, while I was listening to the sermon at church, I don't know, it's not, this has nothing to do with the actual sermon itself, but while I was listening to her preach, I felt, I don't know if it was me who came up with it, but God put it on my heart to share it because it can encourage a lot of people. So I got this sense of, I got this voice in me that was like, you can't be scared. You can't be scared. You can't be afraid. I'm sorry if I'm talking weird. I bit my tongue 2 days ago, so it's kind of swollen on this side, so it really hurts, but you can't be afraid. That is what I decided to title this video. I know it doesn't give you much context, so I'm going to get into that now. I feel like I have to give some background. So a while ago, I really managed to strengthen, I guess, my faith in God. I did this fast and it was revolutionary for me. It really changed a lot for me. Over time, I increased my faith, or just strengthened my faith in God, and I found that when I did that, it was like God was telling me, choose a side. And I think I mentioned in one of my videos how we're reaching this point in the world, in America, where you can't really be a lukewarm Christian anymore. I had this discussion with my friend a while ago, that the world is changing rapidly. Things are changing rapidly, and there's no wiggle room anymore to be a lukewarm Christian. There's no wiggle room to like praise on Sunday and then keep your faith low-key during the rest of the week. It's slowly becoming impossible to do that now. Now it's like you're either a Christian or you're not. It's really hard to be lukewarm in this day and age. It's really hard to disguise it. If you're a Christian who keeps your word, you have your own convictions, you have your own boundaries, and you know your word, you cannot be lukewarm. Because if you're going to be lukewarm while having these standards, something's gonna mess up. You can't have one foot in the world and 1 foot with God. It's becoming impossible now. Before, people could get away with that, but it's getting harder to do that. And I remember I kind of declared to God that I was done having a foot in both worlds. You know, I was done doing that. I was done. I don't think I was ever entirely lukewarm, but I think I was on the path to becoming lukewarm. I definitely had my own convictions. I had my own boundaries, but I felt like slowly they were getting taken away. And I'm glad that's when God really woke me up and realized that, because I could have been gone by now. I talk really fast, so I'm working on slowing down my rate because I can't enunciate when I talk too fast, so I am working on my speech and my rate. So if I sound confused, I'm really working on my rate, because I do talk really fast and it's not good. And my public speaking professor used to always tell me that, so give me a second. The point of what I'm trying to say is, when I finally declared that I was done being part of the world and being part of God, when I told God that I was giving him all of me and not living in the world like that anymore, I realized that I cannot be afraid. Because when you take that decision that I am no longer lukewarm, I'm no longer of the world, I am all for God, your boundaries have to be tight. very, very tight. There are some things that other Christians will not understand. You will have your own convictions that some Christians will not understand, and that is completely fine. We all have our different convictions. There's going to be things about you that are going to change, and they're going to be noticeable. It's not going to be like a subtle thing. Like, people are going to notice that you're different. They're going to notice that you've changed. That's going to be hard. It's going to be weird. It's going to be very weird. But what's going to make it scary is that you're not going to be in agreement with the world anymore. And that's kind of where all this comes from. I had this discussion with my mom and brother, and he said that if it were easy to be a Christian, everyone would be a Christian. I wanted to tweak it a little bit and say it's hard to be a Christian being a part of the world that we are a part of. I don't know if you've heard this before, but a lot of people, I think, refer to Satan as like the king of the world. And that is 100% true. Your flesh will be tempted constantly in this world, and that can make it really hard to try to fit in. That can make it really hard to live a normal life. The minute someone knows that you are a Christian, it leaves a bad taste in some people's mouths. And I'm not going to get too much into it because I've made a video before about the misconceptions of Christianity, but my point is, being a Christian in this world is scary because you have opinions that people will not agree with. And then people will hate you for it. I was listening to the sermon today, and just the energy, the confidence, the boldness, it made me realize you really can't be afraid. Because while she was preaching, I'm thinking she's loud enough to the point where people outside of the church can hear her. And then I thought, but she doesn't care. That is what we all need. We all need this boldness to just be Christians, to be open Christians. We need this boldness to talk about God anywhere we choose to go. I know so many people are against that, and it's like, if I'm keeping to myself and I'm talking to another friend about God, no offense, but mind your business. If I want to talk about God with my friend and it bothers you, maybe you should not sit next to me. Because I'm not saying anything in attempt to hurt you, to offend you. Leave me be. And it made me realize you cannot be afraid. I know it took me so long to get to the point. I do better with writing. I'm not very good with words, if you haven't noticed. I'm better when I write my words down. And if you are listening to this and you are a Christian and you're afraid to be open about it because, you know, all the criticism and persecution that you will inevitably get, I want to say this as encouragement, but also as a wake-up call. You cannot be afraid. What you can expect from being an open and unapologetic Christian: you will get criticized a ton. You will get made fun of a ton. You will get a lot of hate. People are not going to like you. And I know that sounds so harsh, but when you have a faith or you have opinions that are completely opposite of everyone else's, that is what you can expect to happen. When everyone is going left and your faith is telling you to go right, you're not going to be loved by everybody. And I just want to remind you of that. You cannot be afraid. And I think I tweeted this actually. Hold on. It was one night when I felt like I was starting to get a bit fearful when I noticed how much hate a lot of Christian YouTubers get, and God kind of put this in my spirit, and so I had to write it down. I decided to tweet it. I don't know why. I kind of made a thread. So I wrote, "If you're beginning to fear the criticism and persecution of the world, it may be time to reevaluate your relationship with Christ." Now what I meant by that is, if you're a Christian and you're beginning to be afraid of letting people know you're Christian because you're afraid of the criticism, you're afraid of the persecution, you're afraid of the mocking, the harassment, the bullying, the hate, if you begin to fear all that because of your faith, you need to reevaluate your relationship with God. And what I mean by that is, you need to ask yourself who is more important to you, the opinions of the world or the opinions of God. That is what I mean by reevaluate. Ask yourself that question. Do I care more about what people think of me or what God thinks of me. And in no way am I saying this is easy. It is not easy at all. Again, if it were easy, everyone would be doing it, but it is not easy. It's not meant to be easy. Then I also said, and if the fear itself is beginning to cripple you, it may be time to temporarily disconnect from the world and to allow yourself to reconnect with God. And what I meant by that is, if you're getting so worried and anxious over the bullying, the persecution, all of that from being a Christian, sometimes you need to take a step back. Sometimes you need to get off of social media, get off of anything where you can get other people's opinion. Just disconnect for a minute and spend some time with God. That's usually what fasting is. It's a bit of disconnecting, a bit of denying the flesh and focusing on God. Sometimes you just have to push away the distractions and rekindle your relationship with God. Just fix that up, because sometimes that will remind you of who you are and whose you are. And then I also said, we're not here to be loved. Satan took and twisted all of the good stuff. We're here to fulfill roles that require fearlessness. We are here temporarily, and we have a job given to us by Jesus Christ. And if you need that reminder to help you with your relationship with God, so be it. Remember your mission. Remember that Jesus lived a completely sinless life on earth. He knew what he was here for. He knew what his mission was, and he was like, I'm gonna stay focused on what I'm here for. Yes, we get distracted. Sometimes we spend too many hours on social media instead of reading our Bible. And that is when you have to remind yourself of why you are here, what your purpose is for being here. And finally, I wrote, you know you're lukewarm if your one true desire is to be loved by everyone while serving God. If you have this belief that you can serve God with your whole heart and still be loved by the entire world, you might just be lukewarm. I'm not saying you are, but you might be. This is why I say that, because if your heart is truly in it for God and you are doing everything he asks of you to do and you are spreading the gospel, it is impossible to be loved by every single person. Even if you're not a Christian. Let's get off that for 1 second. Even if you are atheist, it doesn't matter if you're atheist, doesn't matter if you're agnostic, doesn't matter if you're Christian, doesn't matter if you're Muslim. It doesn't matter what religion or non-religion you are. You cannot be loved by every single human being. It is impossible. Somebody's gonna hate you, even if it's for no reason. Somebody's gonna hate you. And I think the reason why a lot of Christians are so fearful to be open Christians is because they know that they might receive more hate and criticism than the next person. Which you will. The Bible talks about how we will be hated like Jesus was hated, because our opinions are not the norm. Anytime you are not going in the same direction as the world, expect criticism. And so I don't mean for this video to come off as suck it up and get over it, but I just mean that we have a job that requires fearlessness. It's not a suggestion. I know they say sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt me. Yes, they can. You will be hurt, you will be offended, you will be discouraged, and you will want to give up, but the point is that you don't, and that you remember what you are here for, you remember who you belong to, you remember who loves you and is here with you. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. So I want to say this as encouragement that you continue to follow Christ and just go on this journey with Jesus and understand that it's a scary thing. It's a scary journey, but you have to keep your head up. Eventually, over time, you'll develop a bit of thick skin, but words are still gonna hurt. Don't allow fear to cripple you. That is what I mainly want you to take away from this video. Please don't allow fear to cripple you. People are going left and you may be going right, and that's just the way it is as a Christian. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. Don't be afraid. And that is all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if it encouraged you or if you liked it, like it down below. Do not forget to subscribe, and also if you care to comment, I don't know, anything you want. I want to start doing this thing where I ask if you have any prayer requests, because I just think it's important. I feel like if my channel is so focused on God and just the betterment of people and positivity, people need prayer. And so if there's a prayer request that you have, please comment it down below, and I promise you I will pray for you the minute I see your comment. I will not hesitate. I will send out that prayer to God immediately. So from now on in my videos, if you have a prayer request, please leave it down below and I would love to pray for you. And I will see you guys in my next video. Peace, love, and unity. Deuces. you're done. One more to go. Woohoo!